Okay, we're getting into the first episode of the third tour. Wah! Okay, everybody, we're in the third tour. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Me and my brother have been playing on this server for the last like 9-10 days. I'm going to run around and show you everything that we've gotten done so far. Mostly, we've just been doing a lot of filling in dirt and cutting trees, getting set up in like our levels and everything like that. But we're gonna run around real quick and show you what the island kind of looks like, what our cave systems are looking like, uh, and kind of how we're gonna start setting things up in the future. All right, so you can already see the familiar paths. So we've already started working out some of the paths. Let me think. This island that we're on, I would not suggest starting this particular build in a plains biome. Plains biome is so low to the sea level that you really have to build up a lot of the ground in order to get it up to the farm level. We got all of our crops set up, so all the crops we're going to need for the future farms that are coming up, got it all laid out right here. Already started on working on the next levels up, the food market and housing level, the legends level, and the castle level. Not a lot has been done on that because we haven't got a silk touch yet, but our mountain over here is super cool looking. Like I was not getting mountains like this on the servers I was running, so that's pretty cool. Let's take a quick nap and then we'll walk around and show you everything. Okay, it's the next morning after we just slept. It's raining, which is kind of crummy, so what we'll do before we check out the top side of the island, we'll go ahead and down into the cave and hopefully spend enough time down there to sleep through another night to where we can get this rain to go away. This is our cave system right now. I think down here is close to level 30, I want to say. Eventually probably put in some water columns in here to get it where we can get up and down into this area pretty quick. As you can see, I already started a like a water column for our deep slate mine down in the bottom. We'll stay on this level right here. This is what our map looks like. Look at that. That's huge. This is going to be a huge island to work on. I think it's even bigger than Comet City. Maybe not the mountain we had on Comet City, but we have some really cool looking mountains that we're going to be working on. But one thing you can see is we have an enormous amount of farmland. Already kind of got it mapped out for where the different zones will be, so different farms will go in different areas. I do think that these are a little bit too big, so I might break them up a little bit more, so we might can get a couple of different type of farms in there. Down here, I got my spyglass so I can zoom in. Okay, so down here is going to be a food market and housing area, and then all of the rest of this is just farms. We still got to take this area. I'm going to back up so I can zoom in again. This area right here, all on the other side of the retaining wall for the farms. We got to change all that grass out for sand at some point. But our map is looking great. We got a lot of room to work on here. Tons of stuff we can do with the farm level, which is super exciting because at the moment the farm level is my favorite level to work on. I think the farm level is the most finished out of all the levels that have been set up. So I'm glad we got a lot of room to work, a big canvas to put in some really cool farms. And also we already have all the farms that we need. We've just been collecting extra resources because these farms are going to be huge. So we're going to need a lot of extra seeds and carrots and potatoes and stuff like that. I liked the moss in Tour 1 in my caves, So I went ahead and threw some down. This is not what this cave is finished. It's not by any means is finished, but this is kind of how it's looking right now. It's kind of just a workshop, just like a thrown together workshop. It don't look good, but we're just stocking up all our resources. We got our what is this, lapis? I like how we were doing the lapis on tour 2, so I'm gonna keep doing that. Up here, I mean, we got all kinds of stuff. The moss, we got a geode. I love this area. This cave was kind of set up just like this. Not much was taken out. Like, none of these walls right here have been messed with. I cleaned up these walls back here a little bit, so they're a little more flat, so we can do something with those later on. But just collecting tons and tons and tons of resources so far. We've been in the nether for a little bit. We got a little chest wall over here, but this is going to be a fun cave to work in. Right here, let me see if I can find my carrots. I might have to go to, let me see, I think it might be on 9. Or is it 8? Yep, it's on 8. We found this zombie spawner, so this was a perfect cave to get set up in. Right now we have a light on, and we can turn it off right there. So we turn that off, and now we got zombie spawning right there. I want to keep it on because I AFK'd over there for a little while, and we have a full double chest of rotten flesh. But it looks pretty good. Brought the texture from the deep slate level all the way up here to keep it unison and like everything flowing together for this particular farm. This is where I'll AFK, or me and my brother will AFK if we want to get some more zombie flesh for villager trading in the future. But this is really cool to have so close to a workshop. Also with the amethyst farm right here, we can grab some amethyst. We can stay around here. They'll be loading in, and we can constantly be getting zombies. I didn't set this up for a grinder. It's just a kill chamber, so I don't really think that zombie grinders are any good in order to get levels. So, but they are good to make trades with villagers. So we set that up. I'll walk down here eventually to show you what the bottom of the farm looks like over there. But this is our workshop. It looks pretty cool. This is where we spend a lot of our time. All our materials are down here. We got the little quick smelters set up. We've been doing a bunch of caves, and I don't think, other than in this area, we'll find a lot of ores that are just not been snagged up already. I mean, we've been going crazy on this cave in particular. Got our enchanting room set up right there. One idea that's going to be fun to play around with in this cave is all these little like cutouts. Since we spent so much time in this cave, we put in stairs and walkways and pathways where you can get to different parts of the workshop. So we were just up there, and we kind of walked around, and we ended up back over here next to the chest. Down here is another part of the cave that's going to be really cool because we're transitioning into the deep slate level. You can already see, let me see if I can find my, where is it at? Is it 7? Is it 5? Yeah, it's 5. Right down there, you can already see our paths are getting set up, so that's pretty cool. Our deep slate texture, and we're going to work the deep slate texture into this area up here, and then it'll go into like a smooth stone texture in this area. But this hasn't been cleaned up that much. There's not a really good way to get back and forth in this area. The only there's 2 ways down at the moment to get to, I mean, there's multiple ways down, but safe ways and like pathed out ways are back over in that direction over there. But over here I kind of cleaned this up. This is not kind of how it's going to finish or how it's going to end up looking, but just putting in walls to kind of divide up areas and keep things easier to like chew on. Like I can go into a smaller area and kind of decorate and work out areas. This is the bottom of the zombie farm. Spent a lot of iron getting this thing set up, but a full double chest of rotten flesh, so that's pretty good. And yeah, you can see, I mean, there's a couple of ores in the ceiling, but we've been running through this cave like like mad, just like caving it out like crazy. So that's been good. Come back up here, and we'll go down to the deep slate level proper, or the way that we've been caving down into the deep slate level. My brother set up a strip mine. I don't know if we'll check out the strip mine, because I mean it looks like you would think a strip mine would look like, but we'll come down here. This is the way we normally come down here into the deep slate. My brother's strip mine is even further down. You probably can, yeah, you see those ladders down there? That's where he's been strip mining. So we found about 64 diamonds already, but we've been setting up this area down here, this like the landing pad, to kind of welcome you into the deep slate level. I'm gonna jump down here, maybe take some damage, but this is our water column up to the holding area up there. So we can just come in here and throw in all our deep slate that we've been working with, or the ores that we find down here. We'll throw it in there. Super big cave. It's going to be fun to get this turned into the deep slate texture. And I'm going ahead and doing the full texture and not just doing the brick, because it doesn't look quite as good. Like, well, when you're building, I like generally I like doing the main block and then coming back in and putting in the other textures on top of it, because then it gives me more like freedom to say, okay, I need more of the tile block over here and more of the smooth block over here. But this is kind of how it looks if you just kind of place them in without taking a step back. So it kind of looks different than my typical texture. Like up here, like that wall that we just looked at, I don't think has the same, like, see, like that looks better to me. It's random, but in like it has like a flow to it. But down here it's kind of blocky and it doesn't look quite as good in my opinion. So I don't know if I'll go back to using just the old style where I put in the brick and then go back through and put in the tile and the smooth block, because I do like the way this came out. This turned out right up here better than I do the walls. Like, this looks good, but that was mostly just because I could step back and look at it and move things around, whereas this, I was building it as I went up. And if you can see, let me go back down here. I don't know, it just doesn't have as good a flow. I might still keep this in there, maybe change this area up right here, because that's a little doesn't look like it flows quite as well as it should. But we'll go ahead and go up to the top. Maybe it's already night so we can sleep, and I think the bed was on 7, maybe 8. Yeah, I don't think it was on 9, maybe 6. Yep. Okay, nap number 2. 5 was our binocular. Okay, so we're gonna go up top. Hopefully it stopped raining so we can show you around. We've already checked out the map. We already see what kind of how it's looking, and I'll walk you around the different areas that we checked out on the map. Like I was saying, we already getting our fields set up, so we got all our crops, and we just been farming these up to try to stock up a bunch, because we already know that these areas are going to take a lot of farm. This area over here is going to be a built up food market and housing level. This was originally just going to be farmland, but pretty well, we figured that we needed more room for the food market and housing area, considering that's a pretty steep mountain over there. So we went ahead and left in a lot of the this little hill over here, and we're just gonna fill in the areas that were a little bit lower down. Like, this was a pool of water. We've just been filling that in and give us a little bit more food market and housing to work with. But this has been such a monster to work on. I would not suggest starting this design in a plains biome. Plains biome, you're not getting much. You're not coming up in elevation above the sea level too far from the sea level. So you're ending up putting in. Oh man, I had to eat 2 carrots. But you're ending up having to put in 2, in some places 6 blocks high of dirt to get you to where you need to be to reach the. I mean, look at this down here. Look at that fill right there. We got to fill all that in. That's a monster. This too right here. This was this area. Excuse me. This area over here looked exactly like this. I mean, it was horrible terrain, but we since we already started in this area, we had gotten too far into it before we realized, like, hey, we probably should have started this on a different island. And I'll show you where we begin the dirt at, and eventually we'll have to figure out what we're going to turn this into, because this poor island over here we have like just demolished. Let me get over here and I'll show you. I mean, we have ransacked this poor island. It's pretty much just stone. Let me swim over here. Got some turtles, so maybe set up something on the beach for the turtles to chill in. For some reason, they like to hijack my boat, so I can no longer use that boat. I got 2 turtles that just went in there and just hijacked it. Getting a lot of our dirt from this. I mean, look at this. This is incredible. I can even eat more carrots. How hungry was this dude? Anyway, yeah, look at all that. And that goes back a pretty good ways of just nothing but uncovered stone from all the dirt that we've mined out. And we're still got a long ways to go in order to fill in all of the dirt on our farm level. But that's okay. We've spent about 10 days working on this. Had a day, I think, where we didn't have internet. And then the weekend came up and we were out of town. We went and hung out with... well, I actually went over to my brothers and chilled with them. Hung out with them. So we still got maybe another week, maybe 2 weeks, a week before we're finished with the dirt area. I can't call it. I'm not gonna say we're gonna be done with this dirt in another week, because this has been a monster. I'm gonna quickly climb up on this tower and you can get a better view of the area. Me and my brother also found one of those dark mansions, and we had we went in and kind of like uncovered it and went and fought in it and found an ally, or an LA. We named it Blue. It's living over there on the tunnel down to our cave system. But I'm gonna walk around here and show you everything. This is our path out to the water. A huge amount of farm area. Went ahead and set up the boundary of where the paths should go, but that gives us such the amount of room that we have in this in each area is huge. Like, this would be probably 3 times bigger than the wheat field on the first tour, so that'll be fun to figure out different ways to make it look good. Maybe even break it up into different segments so we can maybe have different things in it. I saw some pictures on Pinterest also of people building tractors and stuff, so maybe give those people some credit and maybe put some tractors over here in different areas on the build. Quickly walk up here and show you what these areas up here are looking like. And this is the first tour on this server, so it's not fully fleshed out yet. Everything's still kind of bland and flat, and a lot of greens, a lot of browns, a lot of grays, but the more tours in, the more all this stuff will get finished up, and the better all these areas will look. Oh, we even got some cocoa beans. There's the LA right there. Named him Blue. This is the Legends area, the top of the Legends area. It goes back quite a ways over there. Um, and what I've been doing is I'll go through an area and I'll just set the trees on fire, and then I'll go through and clean up the areas below, and then I'll go back later and just clean up the leftover logs that didn't get burnt. This is going to be a really big island. It's already, I mean, it already is a big island, but it's going to be a huge project, and I'm glad that we have 2 people on this server that can tackle it. Look at this mountain right here. Look at that. That's crazy. And I mean, most of that will be the castle level, but you see, like, things I didn't have on the last 2 servers. Is stuff like this. Like, let me come over here and I'll show you. Look at this. I'd love to do something different in areas like this, because we didn't have overhangs like this in our caves or on our mountains on the last 2 servers. So maybe do something with this. Maybe not have the stone brick come up quite so high. I don't know how we'll get that to look right, but you know, play with it a little bit and see what we can do to make it look good, and maybe still hold kind of the same angles of that mountain and stuff. Would be really cool. We still have a lot of trees to get taken down over here. Let me come around this side. I don't know how to get over there from the other side. All these trees, you can see I already went through here and set fire to all these. I'll probably come through here and burn all these down, and then keep pushing the farmland this way. Open up the map a little more, but I haven't really wanted to come over here and tackle this. There's another really good cave down here too. I mean, we've gotten some really crazy caves on this server, which is fun, because that's some of my, like, you don't see much of the cave, like the transformation of caves, as much as you do the overworld level, because I do most of the decorating in the overworld level, and I don't do as much in the cave systems, but we spend a lot of time down in the caves, and I think a lot more of this server tour will probably be spent in the caves, considering how great the caves have been. But yeah, this is what it's kind of working out to look like. Is really just the setup and the mapping out of things, and where we want different levels to be, where we want different farms to be, and like this is the food, market, and housing level. So figuring out where we want to push the food, market, and housing area out more, and where, I mean, preferably you'd want a lot of food, market, and housing, just like you'd want a lot of farmland. You want it to kind of look like a pyramid. You want a lot of farmland, more food, market, and housing land, less legends land, and then a smaller castle. That is ideal. Just given that it makes sense that where you get the food, where you get the farms and everything, they have to feed the rest of the kingdom or whatever. So obviously they would have to be the biggest areas that you tackle. But that is what our server is looking like for the first server tour on season 3. I'm excited to see episodes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because this place is going to look dramatically different in the next couple of server tours, which is pretty exciting to get into. Thank you for sticking with us, and you know, I hope you had a great week. I had a great week. I hope to see you next week, and I think that was it. Yeah, this has been a great tour. This has been a fun couple weeks coming up. So on that, bye.